This week on Previews World Weekly, we discuss our predictions for the Batman movie, discuss the Marvel Fortnite crossover, and unpack all of the hubbub surrounding the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel. It's all happening right now on Previews World Weekly.
What's up, Previews World? It's Wednesday. It's New Comic Book Day, which means it's time for Previews World Weekly. I'm one of your hosts, Troy Jeffrey Allen.
I'm your other host, Ashton Greenwood, aka the Duchess of Free Comic Book Day. Troy, I'm going to take over the show just really quick to tell everybody we're slow march towards Free Comic Book Day. It's coming up on us May 7th. Saturday, May 7th. But in the meantime, we've been lucky enough to talk to a bunch of the creators that have Free Comic Book Day books available in May. So we have a ton of interviews going up on the website every week, twice a week, every week. So if you want to get an inside look at maybe what went into creating some of these titles, or learn something new, or maybe put yourself onto something you want to pick up, head over to the Free Comic Book Day website, click event news, and there's a ton of different interviews to go through.
Absolutely. And actually, I will point out on the main page, you just saw that Pattinson versus Pattinson, which is actually today's episode of Previews World Weekly, right?
It is.
It is. Let's talk about this real quick. The Batman, right?
Mm-hmm.
It snuck up on me. I actually didn't realize until this week that it was actually already dropping. And it just seemed so abrupt for whatever reason. But, I was talking this up big time, right? The last couple of months. I'm excited. It's the director of the more recent Planet of the Apes movies, which I think are excellent. Like, I think those are just well crafted, very emotional, surprisingly. And so I already have confidence in that. On top of that, I think that they're doing cool stuff with the Riddler, which is actually one of my more favorite. I'd say the Riddler is probably my favorite of the Batman villains at this point.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and it seems to be a nice mishmash of super stylistic, but also not too realistic,
Right.
but also just dark enough. But I'm curious, Ashton, like you're not big on the superhero movies, as you're not as big on them as I am. But how do you feel about them? How do you feel about the Batman?
I'll definitely see it. I'm not pressed enough to see it opening weekend. But I'll make a point to see it. I know that the embargo lifted on early reviews on Monday. And so I've already been seeing a lot of people saying that it's better than Chris Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. Now, I know you have your own issues with the Chris Nolan movies.
Yes, I do.
I liked them. I liked some of them. But I think that's high praise, right? Because that kind of became the bar. Like the Dark Knight movies kind of became the bar for what superhero movies could be in a more realistic sense. And so everybody, that kind of is the thing that people measure superhero movies up to. So for people to already be saying that it has surpassed that, kind of gets me really excited. So I'm interested to see what everybody's on about.
And I don't want to I guess I always got to play devil's advocate here, right? Because now I'm seeing the reversal of the Nolan praise, right? Like there was this insane amount of praise for the Nolan movies.
Sure.
I'd say it happened. It got going after Heath Ledger died, I'll say, right? And now I'm starting to see like a reversal of that, where people are starting to kind of poo-poo it a little bit. So now I'm kind of like, okay, where are we now when we're saying these are better than the Christopher Nolan movies? Like, what I mean? It's like, where's the balance here? So I'm curious. Again, I think the director's a really good director.
Yeah.
I liked Batman Begins. I always got to point that out. I did not hate Batman Begins. I thought it was great.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Thought half of Dark Knight was good. And I don't think anybody really likes Dark Knight Rises, to be honest. But
I feel like that movie was so long for no reason.
It was very long. Yeah, it was long for no reason. Like, Nolan convinced himself that he was making a French novel epic. I'm not even making that up. That's really what he was trying to do. And it just did not work. But I'm actually curious. I don't know if Johnny, you're the other aging nerd in this on the feed here.
He's not wrong.
I mean, hey, it is what it is.
There's a lot of gray in here. So
there's a lot of gray. Right.
One thing I really want to see, and this is just me being hopeful, I have not read any spoilers or reviews or anything like that. I would like to see a story arc for this movie that focuses on the aspect of Batman being the actual world's greatest detective.
Yes.
Because I don't feel like we've ever gotten that to a full extent, because
Mhm.
we've gotten a little bit of that with the Christian Bale films, and like, but he's usually just like relying on his gadgetry. What we're seeing here, obviously, with like Pattinson doing it, it's a much younger Batman. He's like still like kind of fresh to the game, I'm assuming. So I would like to see him rely on his wits and his knowledge and his actual detective skills to solve whatever the Riddler is going to throw at him through a kind of Kaiser Sose storyline, the usual suspects. I would love to see like a mystery like in that vein, but just centered in like the Batman universe. I think that would be absolutely phenomenal. I would actually go so far as almost hoping that Batman kind of loses out at the beginning and like humbles him to kind of make him rise up to become a better man and become a better detective and become a better Batman. So again, I haven't read any spoilers. I don't know anything about it. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. I am going to see it opening weekend. I have my core 4 group of friends that always go out and see all the comic book movies. So we're seeing it Sunday. So I'm looking forward to it.
I was angling to see it this weekend, but then I was instructed that I have to wait for my wife. So so there is that. Dave Brown saying, "Oops, sorry." Look, we both did it at the same time. There you go.
The stream.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I'm actually, that's one thing I'll just mention real quick. Not going to be on HBO Max same day, like, which I think is the first time in recent memory that they've done that. And I think that's just because they recognize that Batman's a cash cow, and they probably can make more money in theaters. I mean, especially after the Spider-Man movie doing so well. I'd imagine Hollywood in general sort of like, okay, well, they'll go to the theater to see superhero movies. They'll risk COVID to go see superhero movie.
Well, mask restrictions are kind of coming down. Like the rates are dropping, so
it's getting warmer too, right? Which is
a lot of people are just feeling safer around the board. So but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I mean, to your point though, I will say this, and I mentioned this on the show before. You talked about Kaiser Soze. I was actually thinking more along the lines of another Kevin Spacey movie. I know Kevin Spacey's not popular to talk about, but another Kevin Spacey movie called Seven, because it gives me a lot of Seven vibes when I'm watching the trailer. And like for that, and for that reason, I'm all about it. I'm just kind of like, I love Seven. I think it's a great movie, and I'm hoping, like you said, that just like those 2 detectives in Seven, Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, or after. I was trying to remember the character's name, but the character didn't have a name. I think I'm hoping we'll get the same thing with Batman and the Riddler in this film. I don't know. Seen a lot of Pattinson. A lot of people are coming around to either going to hate Robert Pattinson forever because of Twilight, right? Or they're just going to make do with this. So we'll see. People have been wrong so many times about who gets cast in these Batman movies. So we'll see.
I'm so over the Pattinson hate, and I will discuss this more later. But I just think like you gotta move on with the times. Like Pattinson did an insane amount of indie work post Twilight to establish himself as a good actor. And if you've seen like literally anything he's done post Twilight has been fantastic. If you haven't seen The Lighthouse with him and William Dafoe, you should watch it. It's crazy. But yeah, y'all need to stop, okay? He's more versatile than sparkly vampires. Respect.
Yeah, just move on. He's an actor, guys. Actors act, all right? So it's all right. He can act like something else besides a sparkly vampire. Anyway, speaking of sparkly vampires, I don't know what that's got to do.
Good transition. Keep it going.
I don't know. What's at comic shops time, right? Let's see what's at your local comic shop. Ashton's got her pick. I've got my pick, and then we're gonna put you on to what's at your local store today. All right, Ashton. I'm gonna let you go first because mine's is a little weird and a little out there, and I need to justify my answer.
I don't think you saw what my pick was then in the group chat.
Oh, I didn't know.
Okay, great. All right, our picks they go hand in hand. My pick this week is the Star Wars Mandalorian Child Popcorn Maker.
Nice.
This is from Uncanny Brands. It's a little counter-sized popcorn maker, Baby Yoda, Grogu, whatever you want to call him, in his like travel egg, whatever that is. And if you're worried about the logistics of this, it uses hot air to make your popcorn, so you don't need oil. If you're concerned about the oil butter situation, no oil required. But the cool thing about it is the top of it where Grogu is in his egg, that's a bowl. Like it doubles as a bowl. So you can just tip the whole thing over and unlatch it, and you have all of your popcorn in a bowl with Baby Yoda to go watch your shows.
Nice. You know, that Baby Yoda merchandise is just never going to die now.
Nope.
It's going to be a thing no matter what. All right, cool. I'm with it. You know, actually, it's funny because actually my pick is, we didn't plan this. I want to point this out. This isn't some paid sponsorship. It just so happens that we both picked something from Uncanny Brands this week, and we both decided not do comics.
Right.
But I mean, like, you know, I was going to preface my selection by saying like, hey, you know, we do the holiday gift guide every year. You know, it's past the holidays, of course, but we usually kind of tell people like, hey, if you're looking for something different, go to your local comic shop, because your local comic shop is where you find gifts that are off the beaten path that no one would expect, right? So it just so happens that I have a friend of mine who loves to cook, right?
Okay.
And loves Dragon Ball Z. You've met him before, actually, Aaron. So yeah, so I mean, like, he's a diehard Dragon Ball Z fan, right? And he loves to cook. He prides himself on cooking for his friends, his family, et cetera, et cetera. So I might actually get this for him. It's a Dragon Ball Z, believe it or not, slow cooker. Yes,
so
it's
cool.
2 quarts. It's from Uncanny Brand, and it features your favorite characters from Dragon Ball Z. The removable stoneware insert makes serving and a cleanup a breeze. We'll see about that. I've never met a slow cooker that was easy to clean. Be a hero at every meal. It has aluminum housing, features full color wrap, and is designed by 120 volt systems in the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. That last part maybe not so important for some people, but I think it's pretty cool. And just left field, and you just never quite know what happens when you go to PREVIEWSworld.com/new releases. So definitely check that out. I was about to say, Johnny missed it, but he got it. So anyway, so yeah, a little off the beaten path for us. But hey, how about now?
But if you're a nerd and you like snacks, then both of these things are for you.
Right, which I'm pretty certain nerds and snacks go hand in hand. So
they have to.
There you go. All right, let's go ahead and take a closer look at Hakes 234 then. Of course, Hakes is going down, and here's a list of some of the items that are available and are going to be available to auction in the near future. Check it out.
Hakes Auctions is the premier source for all manner of Americana and collectibles, and auction number 234 is now open for bidding. Here are some of the amazing items that you can find over at Hakes.com. Be sure to check out the full auction by visiting Hakes.com. Closing dates for items in auction 234 are March 15th through 16th. Hakes, America's first collectibles auction house.
All right, I actually want to give a little nod to the light flex that we saw in the early promo for Hakes, where they were like, a lot of people are thinking Star Wars is going to be the next big thing, but we've always known about Star Wars, and so this is the place to be if you're looking for Star Wars memorabilia. I just really love that, because it's like, nah, we've been doing this for a while, guys. Like, you guys are late to the party. Hakes 234 is running will be running up until March 15th through the 16th. So many items that they had to close it out over a course of 2 days. Action figures, comic books, political memorabilia, you name it, man. It's like it's definitely something for every type of nerd, even some sports memorabilia as well. So yeah, you sports fans, you guys count as nerds too. Don't think you don't. But yeah, keep an eye out, check it out, and do your due diligence. Go to Hakes.com and dive on in. I saw that OG Snake Eyes action figure, and I'm like, I only can imagine what an OG GI Joe Snake Eyes action figure would go for in this day and age. Like, that must be nuts. It looks like Johnny's going to try to look it up. 6,000 right now. Wow. Okay.
Oh God.
Yeah. I could only imagine. Like, yeah, that's a big ticket item, that for sure. I love it. Actually, we're going to talk a little bit more about the number 6,000 later. I'll explain about that in a little bit. But let's get into some news. Ashton, you ready?
I'm hyped for this.
All right, let's do it. News time.
Robert Pattinson's news.
Why? You really tried it.
I mean, you know what? We know it's going to be random, so you never know.
My God.
And not all of them are going to be gold. That's okay too.
Sometimes the misfires are funnier.
Sometimes they are funnier. This is absolutely true. I agree with you. This is definitely one of those times. Anyway, the floor is yours, Ashton.
All right. So you guys know I love Dune. And so I am hyped to see this universe expanding. Boom Studios has announced a brand new series, Dune, The Waters of Conley. It's a new 4-issue comic book series that expands the mythology around Dune. It's adapted and scripted by New York Times bestselling author Brian Herbert, who I have to also point out is the son of Frank Herbert, the original author of Dune. It also has Kevin J. Anderson with art by Francisco Mortarino and colors by Raul Angula, letters by Ed Dukeshire. And the cover art is amazing on this. It's got these 4 variant covers. So this focuses on Gurney Halleck, who is the weapons master of House Atreides. So to give a little bit of background here on what Conley is, I've brought my book, my Dune book that's seen better days. So
turn your books to page 234.
Yeah, okay, guys, this is going to be in our glossary that Frank Herbert provides us. In every copy of Dune, there's a glossary in the back, so you can figure out what's going on. So Conley is defined as a formal feud or vendetta under the rules of the Great Convention, carried on according to the strictest limitations. So in layman's terms, it's basically like the laws that govern warfare. So this is set during the events of Frank Herbert's original classic Dune. There's a 2-year time jump at the end of book 2 and before book 3 starts. And so this will be set in those missing 2 years. And so it focuses on the aftermath of the Battle of Arrakeen, and War Master Gurney Halleck as he takes refuge with the Fremen and vows revenge against the Harkonnens. So it's about them kind of plotting what the downfall will eventually be of the Harkonnens at the end of Dune. But it's a really good way to tap into those missing years. And that's something kind of the Star Wars timeline has been trying to do that I think has been working really well. So I'm excited to see them do it here, is just backfill certain things. So let's see, what else do I want to say? Oh, available in May. That's the important part. So it's available in May right now. It's available for pre-order. It is in the March catalog. So go to your local comic shop, ask them to pre-order you a copy. You won't want to miss it. I will definitely be getting a copy. And I'm insanely excited about this. I'm trying not to be ridiculous, but please order a copy.
Please do. You know what? Actually, this kind of dovetails nicely because I've been thinking lately, and I've actually expressed this to a couple of people. I feel like now has actually is a really good time to be in the comics. Yeah. And I've just noticed that, top to bottom, from the big 2 to like the smaller publishers to like, our premier publishers, like, everyone's producing like really cool, really interesting, really like engaging, just enticing stuff. And I'm going to add to that list that you just put up for Dune with Chip Zdarsky and Jorge Jimenez are going to be on Batman, like Batman, like just straight up ongoing Batman. Like, I got to be honest with you, I have not read a regular Batman book probably since Grant Morrison, to be honest. So that's about almost 10 years ago. But yeah, a new ongoing team is taking on DC's flagship title beginning in July. Following Joshua Williamson's 6-issue run, writer Chip Zdarsky joins returning artist Jorge Jimenez as the new team on Batman, beginning with an oversized issue 125. Along with Tomo Moray on colors, Failsafe is the team's 6-issue debut arc. Bruce Wayne is having nightmares of a future he can't stop, but he may not make it to that future, as a startling enemy from Batman's past has one relentless goal: to end Batman no matter what it takes. Now, admittedly, that description doesn't light the world on fire, right? Like, I'll just be honest with you about this. But here's the thing. Chip Zdarsky is really good, guys. And like, you've heard me talk about him on here a couple of times. I know you loved his Jughead run, which also proves like the range of Chip Zdarsky stuff that he can do. His Daredevil is just tearing it up, and he has written some great Spider-Man stuff. And anytime that Zdarsky, now I'm at a point now whenever Zdarsky tackles some well-known Cape comic, right? I am all for it. So yeah, definitely check that out. And also check out his other stuff. He's concluding Devil's Reign over at Marvel right now. Of course, we mentioned Jughead. Batman the Knight is also actively coming out from DC Comics, and he's got a book, a creator-owned book called Stillwater from Image right now. So yeah, he's very busy. He's been cranking them out. So yeah, definitely check that out. July, Zdarsky and Jorge Jimenez on Batman 125. What else is going on in the world of comics, Ashton? What you got?
There's a Marvel Fortnite situation a brewing. So Marvel and Fortnite are teaming up for their new Zero War crossover comic. So it'll be called Fortnite X Marvel Zero War. And it'll see Spider-Man, Shuri, and Wolverine team up with fan favorite characters, whoever that may be, from the Battle Royale, who've traveled to Marvel to track down a crystal shard that's somehow wound up in the Marvel universe. And so this so-called Zero Shard could possibly turn the tide of the never-ending war that Fortnite characters have been locked in for years now. And so the story will have enormous ramifications for both universes. I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds exciting. It's written by Christos Gage, art by Sergio Davila. It'll be a 5-issue miniseries available this June, be in April's previews catalog. So if you want to pre-order your copy, get ready. And each issue will contain codes for in-game cosmetics, which I think this is really cool. So it's got codes for in-game cosmetics that are exclusive to comic book readers for that first week. And then they become available for purchase to non-comic book readers the following week. So you get a nice little extra bit there by purchasing this comic. I'm not the demographic for this, but it seems like a really cool idea, I have to say.
Well, no, I mean, like there have been other comic company Fortnite crossovers before, and they just just blew up. Like, I mean, between the speculators and the Fortnite fans and the additional content that you can get from it, it's destined to be a big deal. Like it's gonna blow up. So yeah, make sure if nothing else that when you get the chance to reserve your copy, guys, because if you're a Fortnite fan, it's gonna go fast. Because if anything has taught us with the last reiteration, which I think was with DC, the last iteration, which was DC, there's no chance these are staying on the shelves. So definitely get on the ground floor quickly. Over on IDW, right? The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic book series from IDW once again defies all expectations this March with the reintroduction of a controversial character not seen in 24 years.
Whoa.
All right, so what am I talking about here? Well, her name is simply Venus. So here's the deal, right? Back in the 90s, there was a live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show. I don't think it was very long-lived. I think it was kind of short-lived. But Venus was introduced as the first female turtle, right? I believe she was named after Venus de Milo, if I remember correctly, because you got to go with the whole Renaissance thing. So it's like Michelangelo, Donatello, Raphael, Leonardo, Venus, right? So of course this predates Jennico, who's currently the premier female Ninja Turtle in the Ninja Turtle comics. It precedes her by over 2 decades. While Venus proved a polarizing figure at the time, of course, because nerds, fans can trust that Sophie Campbell, who's bringing her back into the series, has skillfully guided the narrative of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic book series for 2 years. Will reintroduce the characters in ways both shocking and mesmerizing. Venus will make her debut in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 127 on sale March 16th. So this is coming out very soon. As part of a story arc that concludes in issue 130, her story will continue in this year's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Free Comic Book Day issue. And if you're an Eagle Eye fan, you may have already spotted her cameo on the release cover artwork here, right? And that'll be available for free at participating comic shops on May 7th. The Free Comic Book Day will also serve as a precursor to Armageddon Game, which is the massive TMNT comic book event of 2022. So get on the ground floor with that as well. Check that out. Yeah, just cool, interesting, exciting things happening in comics right now. And I've noticed that it's been a bevy of those, of interesting, cool, exciting things kind of back to back to back for any type of fan that you are. Yeah. So plenty to be excited about for sure.
I also have to say really quick, I got a sneak peek at IDW's Free Comic Book Day title, and it is crazy. Like it was impressive to like, I don't, regularly follow the the TMNT books, but to me, I was like super into it. So if you're an IDW, I keep saying IDW, if you're a TMNT fan, definitely grab that.
Okay. All right. Yeah. It's too many acronyms. I know.
I know.
Okay.
Excuse me.
All right. Let's actually, speaking of something else you should be excited, things you should be excited for, there's a new series called Metal Society from Top Cow. And so we're going to show you guys a trailer. And when I come back, I'll tell you a little bit more about it. Check it out. All right, that's Metal Society. And you know what, Ashton? The description triggered me a little bit. Just a little bit. Got to be honest with you, because it says it's in an inverted future, evolved robots have resurrected humans for manual labor. So
that is my fear. That's it. That is it right there.
Right,
like every time we talk about robots and we're like, we're not cool with it. We're not down. Like, y'all need to know something weird's going to happen. That is it. Like the apocalypse, it is going to be a robot apocalypse. It is not going to be good for us. You guys need to be worried. Why is no one worried?
I share that sentiment right there with you. I'm actually curious because I wonder if it's like, it sounds like from the description that we existed, right? Like humans were on the planet, right? We created robots, and for whatever reason, humanity died off, and now robots were like, well, we need somebody to work. So probably through some Jurassic Park type genetic manipulation, they revived humanity and just put us to work. But it's coming from Zach Kaplan, and he's teaming up with Guillermo Balbi. It's a dramatic new series, sci-fi series that's Blade Runner meets Rocky. And check it out. It's coming out from Top Cow on May 4th. It's available to pre-order right now in the March Previews catalog, or you can go to PREVIEWSworld.com/catalog and pre-order your copy today. So definitely check that out. All right. You know what? Let's talk about something else that was kind of in the news this past week, but we didn't feel like it was news necessarily.
Okay.
But we wanted to talk about it, right? Johnny, you want to come in here and join us for a conversation about this?
I am all about
Galactic
this.
Star Cruiser.
Oh my god!
What's the deal here? So, I got to tell you, man, I watched way more YouTube reaction and review videos than I ever would have liked to watch, just to kind of understand what was going on. Is because I was kind of out of the loop on this. I didn't quite know what it was, but for those who are still also out of the loop, can you explain what it is exactly, Johnny?
All right. So basically, they have opened up a immersive hotel that is based into the Star Wars universe. It's called Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser, and everything takes place aboard what is supposedly the Starship Halcyon, and it is part choose your own adventure. It is part puzzle solving elements. It is part video game. It is part performance art / live theater in this all encompassing immersive experience. And I know that like Star Wars fans, when they heard about this, like some people were excited, but a lot of people were just like, "Oh, what's this?" Disney's just gonna turn it into their own thing. But I watched a whole bunch of these videos last week, and let me pull one up right now, real quick. This is from a YouTube channel called Ordinary Adventures. This is Kitra and Peter. They just go all over the place. They visit Disney parks and everything like that. So I watched their video. They put out like 4 or 5 videos, basically like on their first. They're like media guests, so they got to stay here and like walk through the entire ship. You can go into like an engine room. You can go into the bridge. You can there's all kinds of stuff going on, and all the people who are working there like are just characters in this Star Wars universe. If you talk to like this person, you're going to go down here and you're going to need to fix the engine room. If you talk to this person, you're going to go over here and into the bridge and like, you know, help rescue a droid and stuff like that. Like it's insane. Like I had my doubts about this, but after watching all these videos, I'm like, how can I drum up $6,000 for this experience?
So, I mean, that is the question, right? I'm going to save that for last. I'm going to ask you guys if the juice is worth the squeeze in terms of the price. But
I mean, look at this. They have like characters that actually like Rhodian character, like with mouth that moves and everything like that. Like there's characters fully in costume here.
You know, one of the videos I watched was like the guy was like, look at the design of the Star Cruiser. It looks like it's from the 80s. Oh my God. And I'm like, well, it is from the 80s. Technically, like the foundation for Star Wars is built in the late 70s, like early 80s. So yes, that's what it looks like. You know, there's just a lot of videos like that. I think it is kind of cool. Like it gives me like a dinner theater vibe. And
100%. Yes.
You know, there was one part of it that I think it's part of this. I wasn't sure if it was part of the Galactic Star Cruiser or if it's part of Star Tours, but there was this bit that you basically were in this droid manned vehicle that kind of drove you around inside of a cruiser as it was being attacked.
I don't think that's this.
Yeah, I don't think that's this. Okay, yeah. But I did think that was kind of neat. So, you know, for the most part, I saw more positive reviews than negative ones. And I mean, look at that. You kind of get a little goosebumps seeing.
Yeah, to be in there
and like blast off into warp speed.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, seriously. Like, I mean, I'm not going to show too much because I don't want to spoil too much because if anyone wants to like look at the walkthroughs or tours of this, you can just Google Galactic Star Cruiser on YouTube and find them. But like, I personally, I love Star Wars. I mean, I may have fallen out of my good graces in recent years because I'm like, you know, not everything needs to be about the Skywalker saga. It can be like, you know, the secondary or tertiary stories like The Mandalorian. Like there's all kinds of things going on, but you really get that feel. Like, imagine if you were in a Star Wars movie, you're not just like following the action, like all the other characters that you see around you, they all have a story. They're all going to different places and doing different things. So
right. Yeah.
It's fascinating to me to like see, and the amount of work and writing and storytelling that went behind this is just mind blowing. So if anyone's interested, like definitely go on YouTube, like look up after you're done watching our show first, but go check it out. But I mean, what are your thoughts, Troy?
No, I think it's cool. I'm actually kind of curious about how it's you mentioned that it's canonical, right? Like this is supposedly all part of the mythos.
The events that take place on this take place between episodes 8 and 9.
Ashton made a face. Ashton, what is it? What's up? Go ahead and say it, Ashton.
I just think that is completely unnecessary.
I mean, I get that. I understand that.
And there goes Ashton. We're not going to have
you took her up.
I get it. I mean, like the cool thing I will, and in a way to like kind of tie it back to comics, is that there is a comic that ties into it and like kind of tells the backstory of the ship as well, like Star Wars Halcyon Legacy. Well, it's a 5-issue, short series. I think it came out. The first issue was a week or two ago. I know the next issue comes out in 2 weeks. So, I personally like the fact that like there's things that companies like Disney and Lucasfilm can kind of put together that immerse you into the story like this. Now, I don't know if it, like Ashton said, it needs to be canon. I mean, I might have read that wrong. I could be completely wrong, but the events that take place on it do take place between episodes 8 and 9. I know that much, but nothing. But I mean, who knows, like what's canon anymore? It's like you have to, if you didn't watch, the Clone Wars, are you going to know what happened to like Jedi Master Sifo Dyas and like who created the clone army? Like whatever. You have to like you need like a complete idiot's guide to Star Wars to follow the entire canon right now.
Yeah, I mean, also, this is one of those things too, where I think comics have always prepared me for. It's all about whatever regime is in charge of the IP at that point in time. So, whoever comes in after Kathleen Kennedy could be like, nope, I think the Galactic Star Cruiser is stupid. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to make this part of canon. Then someone else after them will be like, I loved it. I grew up with it. I'll make it canon. So it's always like whatever. So I guess the big question is, would you pay $6,000 for this, Ashton?
Whoa, Johnny was. Oh my God!
Ashton's like, yes, they can take my soul.
No, Johnny, you already spoke. We got to hear it. What do you think?
No, go ahead, Ashton. We need to give you a chance to talk. I've talked to
No, it's totally fine. You're very excited about this. I think it's very cool. I don't know that I would pay $6,000 for it. That seems like a steep price. But it is a neat idea. It's super fun. To put it the way you said it, I don't know that the juice is worth the squeeze to that monetary value.
I mean, it did just open, so who knows? Like, after it's been open like 2 years, 5 years, the price may come down. Prices may vary based on the season. So, like off season may be less. Who knows? Time is yet to tell.
Now, one of the videos I saw, there was I think it was actually the one that you just showed us. The woman on that video, like she was like tearing up, like being there. But then afterwards, I think she mentioned she was like, well, $6,000, like I could probably go to I could go outside of the country. Yeah, you know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, I think $6,000 is probably about as much as it overall, not just for a hotel stay, how much it costs for me to go to Mexico. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there is that aspect of it. But I understand, I also saw people saying, who is this for? Why would they make this? And I'm like, well, clearly it's for Star Wars fans. It's for kids and their families who will eat this stuff up. So whatever, let them enjoy it. Anyway, all right.
I should have waited on my Disney trip. I should have just saved.
You should have. I'm actually surprised that you didn't for this particularly. No. Anyway, yeah. Let's enough free advertisement for Disney. How about social?
Get out of here, Disney.
All right, let's do some social swap. It's time.
All right, so we're going to jump into one of our reoccurring questions we asked you guys in Social Swamp, which is to tell us you're a nerd without telling us you're a nerd. Show us a collection, send a picture, whatever. Let's see what you guys had to say. Robin says, impossible to fit everything in one photo and impossible to choose between it all. One does not simply make a decision.
Well done.
Shannon says, a bit of my gaming collection, the numbered edition Sand Globe, is a prized possession.
Oh, nice.
Daniel says, this is the chalk art I just did with my 3-year-old. His name is Parker. Rihanna says, my husband brought me a TARDIS as a present on our first date. That is very cute.
Apparently it worked.
Right. Sean says, a selection of the Marvel display room from his Marvel collection. I think that says Sean's Marvel collection, but I can't read that text.
I think he was trying to tag himself and he didn't.
Oh, he tagged himself. All right, got it. All right, swanky collection.
Oh.
Allison says, one of my first roller derby portraits. Bamf is my skater name. I'm having a real hard time reading these. I am so sorry.
The font's a little small, I gotta admit. I will say, let me push up my nerd glasses. That's not how you spell Bamf. But anyway, continue.
Yeah, that's not how I would have elected to spell it, but it's okay. Shane says, my daily driver.
Oh, okay. Why doesn't he look like he's actually on the set of Ghostbusters, the most recent movie?
It does, though. Heather says, I'm a co-owner of a bakery called Sweets of Geeks, where we make pop culture themed chocolates and custom cakes.
Nice. Actually, make sure we get this right. Sweets So Geek.
Oh, thank you for correcting me.
Just to give them that proper shout out.
Brandon says, the closet in my home office. That's a lot of action figures.
Yeah, there's a lot of action figures. Yeah. I mean, I love the dedication, man. I wish we could get a closer look at that. There looks some gems in there.
Go off, Brandon. Chris says, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. I really can't.
I can read this. It says, I made a lymphedema awareness ribbon Hydra logo.
Got it. Thank you for the assist.
But Hydra? Okay. All right. Fine.
Yeah. Interesting choice.
I'll help you with some of these because they are small.
Hail Hydra.
Matt says, I got this tattoo.
That's a commitment. Go off.
That's a commitment. Yep.
See, if I was getting that, I would say dork side, but
dork side.
Mark says, this was my wedding invitation.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's cool.
That's amazing.
The Jack Kirby-ness of that. That's awesome.
Rachel Gray says, Ray Gray cosplay.
Nice.
Dang.
Love that. Super detailed.
and Ken Sack says, why would you get real pizza when you can have Batman pizza?
This.
All right, Troy, let's talk about that.
Hold on. Yeah, we got one more.
Why wouldn't you?
I follow Free Comic Book Day on Facebook.
Thanks, Matt.
Oh, thanks, Matt. Good
I
call.
love you, Matt. Thank you for hanging
Ensuring
out.
that you would be featured on this show. Very smart, Matt.
Right.
Johnny, can we go back to the calzone? First of all, this is exactly how I pictured it would look when it arrived at my doorstep. Just a big old mess.
Oh yeah.
All right. Like I actually just saw the commercial for this thing. So for those of you who aren't familiar, the Batman, of course, Batman has a long history of massive marketing pushes with a Batman movie, right? Going back to the 1989 series, actually probably going back to the 60s series. And yeah, for some reason, Little Caesars and Warner Brothers have teamed up for to make Batman calzones. And please, Johnny, just keep this on the screen because I want people to really look at this.
Like, what is this supposed to be?
Clearly, I guess they were going for a bat signal, right?
Sure.
Well, here's the promotional photo right here.
Right.
Even that doesn't really look like much to me.
No, it doesn't. And I'm glad that you actually got a picture of what the pizza looks like when it's being delivered because that looks way neater. And this is the reality of it. It's like when you watch Right. It's like when you watch the McDonald's commercials and the burgers all look all plump and they're like the steam's coming off of them and the fries are dripping for some reason. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is the reality, guys.
You remember that scene in Falling Down where Michael Douglas gets the cheeseburger and it's all just like wilted and wimpy?
A good call. Actually, I appreciate the call back to Falling Down. But yeah, this is it's strange, and I just don't quite get it. Yeah, Monkey Jeebus is just. I don't even have much more to say that outside of that. If I had to, if I had to show you a nerd by not telling you, had to show you a nerd without saying that I'm a nerd, right? I would probably just get this calzone, keep it forever, and then break it out for the next episode of the show where we ask that question because that is.
Oh, we
bizarre.
were making a joke in the call yesterday that Troy's just going to keep it forever in perpetuity. It's like, I have this calzone from 2022
and then
in box.
And then Hakes can sell it. It'll be great.
Nice.
Full circle, guys. Full circle. There you go.
Monkey Jeep was saying he started to doubt things when they had a TikToker do the commercial. I haven't seen.
I didn't even notice that. I saw the commercial. If you told me someone was on TikTok, I probably wouldn't notice. Like I couldn't even tell you. But yeah, I saw the commercial. And the commercial's all like, just because you eat the pizza doesn't mean you're Batman, and then shows like a bunch of people failing to do things like Batman, like stop crime and climb walls or whatever. But just. I guess so. I do.
This can't be the worst like cross promotional item that's ever come out though.
No,
it's not great.
I would love to see some of the stuff that out there. Like I would love to see a posting of like some of the best and worst movie promotional items over the years. Like I don't know if you remember this, Ashton, but when the prequels came out, I think it might have been episode 1. There was like Pizza Hut, KFC, Taco Bell. They all had these like little collectible like plastic cups that had a plastic sipper of like a character on top of it. Do you know what I'm talking about, Troy?
Yeah, I kind of remember that. Yeah.
They were like plastic cups that were like done up to look like the character's like butt base, like torso, whatever. And on top, it was like a plastic sipper of like Boss Nass, Jar Jar Binks, Darth Maul.
Was R2 one of them?
Yeah, Boss Nass had
Boss
one.
Nass, yeah, right.
Yeah.
They were banking on Boss Nass being a hit.
Boss Nass is one of the most irritating characters in that movie.
Wasn't an R2 one? I feel like there was an R2 in it. There was definitely a C-3PO one.
I mean, it was a cross promotion thing. But I would love to see like some of the let us know in the chat below or side or wherever the chat is. What is some of the best or worst like promotional items that you've ever seen?
Yeah. I almost want to make that. I almost want to make that a social swamp next week, but I don't know. That might be like a little too specific for some people. I don't know. I mean, maybe not.
I mean, do you know our audience?
That's true. Our audience, clearly our audience is like steeped in merchandise. Like, you know what I mean? So that is true. You're absolutely right about that.
I mean, I have to say, like, there were like about 600 responses to that. Tell us if you're a nerd without telling us you're a nerd. Mm-hmm. So a lot of great collections, a lot of great cosplays in there. We couldn't show them all. We just like, there's not enough time in the day, but thank you everyone for submitting. So.
Yeah. And hey, go check them out on Free Comic Book Day's Facebook because people did submit them there, and that's exactly where you can see the whole rundown of people just showing off, showing their nerd cred, which I love.
Also, while you're there, just follow me, hang out.
Follow Ashton, right? Just hang out with Ashton. Ashton's chill. She doesn't bite. So all right, weekly poll time.
Oh yeah.
Right. Let's keep on topic here. It's a Batman episode, so let's do it. What is this week's weekly poll?
So Robert Pattinson is the guy. We mentioned this earlier. He's been Edward Cullen, who was, a vampire. So we're putting Pattinson against himself. Tell us who would win in a battle between Pattinson's Batman and Edward Cullen. And this upset many people.
Yeah,
Really?
apparently, we kind of anticipated it, but I wasn't sure how it would upset people. So I'm curious are there any comments we can show, Johnny?
Yeah, well, did it upset people on the PREVIEWSworld Twitter? Is that what happened?
I saw some comments too on the PREVIEWSworld Twitter as well.
Because there's only one. It says comic book fans and teenage girls. It is a sad, starring fight, Edward. But in a real fight, come on, the guy's a friggin' vampire. Though the fight would be over when Batman screams out the first name of the new Gotham mayor.
Huh?
I don't know. I don't get that.
Gordon?
No. You yell it into the air.
See, when he said that, it just made me think of one of them's going to say, "Save Martha."
Right, yeah. The guy's a freaking man thought, though, the fight would be over when Batman screams out the first name of the new Gotham mayor. I am totally lost on that.
It might be a reference to that Martha thing, but just taking it like a twist on. I don't know.
I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, I was looking at I posted earlier today. I was like, I'm not in the camp of people that thinks that Batman can beat everybody. I've never been in that camp. So my whole thing is Edward's a vampire. He would kill Batman. Edward is a vampire. Batman wishes he was a vampire. The winner's Edward. And that's without even really watching. The only time I've watched Twilight is the riff tracks. That's the only time I've ever watched it. So
Vampires Don't Sparkle, winner Batman. Find preview of fight mode activated.
Right. So yeah, not a popular one, but let's go down the list, guys. Ashton, who do you say would win?
Oh, Edward would totally win. Just for no other reason than Edward. So all vampires in the Twilight universe, all of the vampires have super speed. So they all have that, and then each of them have different additional abilities. So Alice can see into the future, whatever. Edward's particular special ability is that he's super strong. So between super speed and super strength, it doesn't seem like a fair fight. Batman's human.
But Batman with prep time.
Right.
Get out of here, Johnny. I hate
it. Me and Troy just both leaned off camera.
Right. You beat me to it because I was about to say, but Batman with prep time, you beat me to it. Because I'm surprised no one's in the comments saying that. I'm kind of curious what the quote tweets say, but we haven't looked at them yet, so I don't want to click on something and someone's cursing up a storm. So, All right, Johnny. What do you say? Where do you side on this?
It's hard for me to say because I've honestly never seen any of the Twilight films. I was just not the right demographic. So
understandable. I've seen all of them many times.
But Ashton does present a compelling argument, so I'm going to take her lead. I would almost kind of say Edward. I don't want to say Edward Cullen.
Right.
Every bone in my body does not want to vote for Edward Cullen. I do not want to click this button. But Troy,
who is it? Come on. Oh, I already said Edward. I'm
then let's just go with that. Okay, 85.7.
Oh God, come on, guys.
The Batman stands came out for this one.
The Batman stands will come. The Batman stands show up no matter what. They're going to show up. Speaking of Batman stands, what do we got here? Monkey Jeep saying, I just feel that DC teased me with Batfleck and then switched him over to Bat.
No one wants that.
But what? We got 3 Ben Affleck Batman movies?
Did we?
I think we did. I might be miscounting, but it's okay. Whatever. I look at those movies as Elseworlds, just like it look like all the other DC movies. This one too is an Elseworld story, so whatever. But yeah, someone's backing up saying Cullen has super speed and strength with little weaknesses. So there you go. So you're not alone. Apparently, you two are Monkey Jeebus is also a fan of the Twilight Saga.
Thank you, Monkey Jeebus.
Or maybe he was just subjected to it by his girlfriend or something. Who knows?
Nevertheless, he had the important information.
There you go. All right. Comic shop shout out time. Who is our comic shop shout out for this week?
This week's comic shop shout out goes to Acme Superstore in Longwood, Florida, and it comes from Brian Graham. So we show you some pictures inside of Acme at the end of the store during the end of the show during the credit roll. If you want us to shout out your local comic book shop on the show, find us on social media, tag your shop. If they don't have a handle, just leave their name and use the hashtag #SupportYourLCS. We'll find your shop, shout them out on the show, and give them some love.
All right. And I'm going to remind you guys, hey, follow, subscribe. You can hang out with me over at PREVIEWSworld, and you can hang out with Ashton over at
Free Comic Book Day.
All right, and that's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Free Comic Book Day has a TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, all the things. It doesn't matter. Like, we're out there. We're out in these streets, guys. Meanwhile, also, it is Women in Comics Month.
Yes.
I just want to point out, we actually just kicked it off yesterday, because yesterday was March 1st, with Latoya Morgan, who is the writer of a series called Dark Blood. She's also actually one of the TV writers for Shameless. And The Walking Dead. So yeah, she's got some cred. She's got some serious cred. And it just so happens that Latoya Morgan's interview is up now on our website. We're going to be doing a few more. There's going to be Yashawn Lee's coming up. Stephanie Phillips, who's doing stuff with Heavy Metal and Top Cow right now. And most importantly, I would say it's most importantly, personally, is there's a roundtable on the 18th. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Ashton? Because I know you can't say much, but there is a roundtable for Women in Comics coming.
Yeah, definitely. So like Troy said, on the 18th, we're putting together a roundtable with a couple different women in the comic book industry representing all of the different sides, creators, cosplayers, publishers. And we're just going to talk about kind of like what it is like to be a woman in the comic book industry, some of our influences and the things that, we hope to accomplish in this field.
Absolutely. On the flip side, we just closed out Black History Month. And so the last article for Black History Month that we did was actually with Johnny Christmas, who has worked on everything from was a Catbird, Angel Catbird to the Alien series for Dark Horse Comics. And it just so happens that Christmas has a new series called Crema, originally released on Comixology, and now it's getting its official print release through Dark Horse Comics. Kind of interesting. It's about a barista who sees ghosts. Ooh. And involves a haunted coffee plantation in Brazil. So definitely check it out, especially looking for something off the beaten path. I know we tend to gravitate a lot towards the big sci-fi stuff and the big superhero stuff sometimes when we talk on the show, but we do appreciate the indie books, the slice of life books, the supernatural and the mystery and all the other genres that comic books allow us. So definitely check that out. That's on our website right now if you're looking for something a little bit different. And that is it for Previews World Weekly. I'm one of your hosts, Troy Jeffrey Allen.
I'm your other host, Ashton Greenwood.
And we will see you guys at the spinner rack. Catch you later.
Don't forget that you can catch Previews World Weekly streaming live every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific at Previews World on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.